Hello and welcome to Hardspace Shipbreaker. So today we're going to be starting a new campaign in this game, and this game is basically about taking apart ships. You are a astronaut who is volunteering to go up into orbit, paying a ton of money to have the opportunity to break ships apart. Spaceships, that is. And there's opportunity for success, but starting off, you are going to be very, very deeply in debt. Today we're going to be doing the limited campaign, meaning that we only have 30 revives for the whole campaign. The goal of the campaign is basically to get out of debt, and you start off severely in debt, and you have to slowly work your way towards financial freedom. Let's go ahead and start our campaign.
Each day he steps into the yard to earn his wages working hard. I pray to the stars and heaven above to return my daddy to those he loves. If there comes a time when he and death meet, bless the next cutter that takes his seat.
Welcome to the habitation module. This is where we basically get ready to go out and start chopping up ships. You can see that we are about $1 billion in debt right now, and we only have 30 lives left. So that's a a big number, especially considering how much most of these ships go for. So if we look at our tools, we have the laser cutter, the utility grapple, thrusters, cross-spectrum scanner, helmet, worksuit, demo charges. Let's go ahead and look at starting a new shift. So we have to select a ship first, and we have a fairly limited selection. Now, if we continue, there are higher ranks, but we have not completed enough tasks to be able to do those ranks. So we are starting out, we basically only have the mackerel ships, and what I want to do is I want to go for the highest total value ship that I can possibly get, and that's going to make it so that we can get the highest amount of value out of our shift. So we're going to start with the Northern Shah, and we're going to claim the ship.
All right, Cutter. Now that you've completed your training, you're only about 1 billion credits away from paying off your debts and links. I know the thought of making 10,000 credits, let alone 1 billion, sounds impossible right now, but I can assure you it is within your reach if you put in the work. You've got the DNA to be a great salvager one day, literally. Your report here says your blood work confirmed ideal genetic makeup, physique, intelligence, and psychological profile for the position of shipbreaker. I'm guessing that means Lynx thinks you're less likely to blow yourself up. Let's see if they're on to something. Complete your work order and return here to your hab when you're ready for another ship. And careful with that reactor. One false move and you're a goner. And a whole lot of credits pour. Good luck, Cutter. Weaver out.
Alright, some nice words of encouragement from Weaver. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to start off by depressurizing the ship. That's going to make it so that when we start cutting things, the whole thing is not going to explode and send us flying off into space or damage our suit.
Airlock pressure level.
Suits are expensive and you don't want to have to fix them. So the way that you are going to depressurize the ship is you really want to get all of the doors opened up so that all of the oxygen or all of the air can get out of the entire ship all at once. Grab this data drive. We're going to cycle pressure.
Air pressure level decreasing.
So now I believe that that actually only depressurized the cockpit, which is a bit of an issue because when I open that door, then everything in the cargo compartment is going to come flying at me. So let's see if there's another, there, okay. So we have this pressurization module. And we also have these doors back here, which will, if we hold these open, I think we should be able to depressurize the whole ship. And I think the way that we can hold them open is if we just rip off the things that make them move. That might work. Let's give that a shot. So now we've got all of those taken care of. Let's go ahead and cycle. Nope. I guess it shut everything.
Air pressure level decreasing.
Well, that's going to be an issue. It looks like those are depressurized, which is good. But I'm not super sure about this, and now I ripped the door off. So yep, it's still pressurized. So unfortunately, we're going to have to cut through that in order to get to the other side and depressurize it. So let's go ahead and do that. And
air pressure level decreasing.
Salvage destroyed. Please avoid damaging
okay.
valuables.
Oh! I'm not sure what that ended up hitting. I don't think it hit the reactor. So probably not the end of the world, but yeah, that was not the ideal situation. So what we're gonna do is let's take a look at our work orders. We need to salvage nanocarbon, which is going to be the exterior of the ship, salvage the cargo hatch. Not sure what part that's going to be, but we'll find it. I think that might be somewhere down that way. Salvage bunch of metal and salvage antenna. So what I like to do first is I like to get the reactor out so that I don't have to worry about the reactor going off at random times. So we're going to pop this off, and then we are going to send it flying into the processor. And we've got these nice little tethers that are going to connect this piece into the processor and drag it away for us. That is very useful to have. Now onto the reactor. So we're going to take it down and just come straight out. As you can see, it's very, very dangerous. So we need to get rid of it basically as soon as we possibly can. And I believe it is captured. This is the barge. This is where we throw the valuable items that we get off of the ship. Things like the reactor. And we also need this antenna, so let's just go ahead, throw it onto there. We need to salvage the cargo hatch. I believe that's going to be this, and we can't get that specifically yet. So let's see how we can get that.
Airlock pressure levels dropping. We
may need to cut it out of the roof or something. I think that might be what we need to do. Now there are a lot of the time items that you can pick up, like this repair kit. And once my oxygen gets a little bit lower, there's also an oxygen kit that I'm going to pick up. So there we go, the cargo door has let loose so that we can put this, or the cargo hatch I should say, so that we can put this into the barge. Now we also have these little cuts here. We can just take those off, and I think that should...
Head back to the kiosk on the starting platform to fill up your row 2. Stat. We wrap.
That's going to remove the actual cargo hatch from what was around it. Now we're a little bit low on oxygen, but there is a oxygen tank in the ship, so we can just grab that. There we go.
Salvage
Cargo hatch is grabbed.
Credits deposited.
Let's go in and this might be...
Warning. Oxygen reserve.
Oh, that's Nova fuel. I might be in trouble here. I'm not sure if I can make it. Ooh, this is gonna be really, really close. So I need to get to this terminal and buy oxygen. I've only got 10 seconds to do it. Can I get it? Come on. Oxygen. There we go. Okay. Nailed it. Alright. So next time, I'm going to make sure what I think is oxygen is definitely oxygen. Because that was almost very, very bad on our very first shift, because we only have 30 lives. So yeah, that was very close to using one of them. Let's go ahead and throw this into the processor and continue
Accepted for processing.
breaking down the ship.
Credits deposited.
This is a piece of scrap. I believe this is loose. It's very, very heavy. So, let's go ahead, get it up, and throw it in. There we go. That should be in the right direction. Okay, now we also have a health pack. There we go. And from here, do kind of like to come to the back here, which I believe the thruster is already gone. It's either already gone or it exploded because I threw stuff at it, but either way, let's grab this. This is going to go into the furnace. There we go, it's on its way. Another possibility is that there are engine nacelles on the outside, so it's possible that they are just attached that way. Let's cut off as much as we can here. And you want to make sure not to put your laser on anything potentially flammable like that big fuel tank or battery right next to me. Let's try taking off the back part of this ship. That should give us a little bit of room to move about.
Alright, Cutter, you got 5 minutes left of this shift before they turn the lights out on you.
Throw that down to the barge.
We wrap.
Alright, I think backside of the ship, we check. I believe the backside of this ship should be just about completely cut off. So we will be good to go ahead and try and cut it off. Let me check in just to make sure. I'm going to cut these. The way that I like to do this is I like to work kind of back to front, because the back is pretty easy to take apart. There we go. Grab these fuel tanks off of here, throw them down to the barge.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Alright, and then I think we can just toss this entire thing into the processor. We're going to use a couple of our tethers for that. Now, we've got these thrusters and I want to grab these, so that's going to take us cutting this with our laser tool. Try not to cut the engine itself. There we go. So that's free, and now we can just tether that down to the barge.
Tether supplies are low.
Go, here's the second engine.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied.
And I think I'm gonna basically use the remaining 3 minutes of my shift to dismantle as much of the ship as possible so that tomorrow, when I start the next shift, I can just run through, tether all of the points to everything else, and
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred.
just kind of break the ship apart that way, so that it's already apart. Just need to tether things to each other so that they can all fly down to where they need to be. Now I think I'm going to run out of oxygen again before my shift is over, so what I think I'm going to do is, as I'm running out of oxygen, I'm just going to end the shift, and that way I don't have to pay for oxygen, but
Make your way back
I've
to the kiosk on the starting platform to fill up your own
still got all of the stuff that I did today done.
Trust me on this one. Weaver out.
Right, nice little cooling unit here. Do not hit that with a laser because it'll explode and make everything very, very, very cold. So we got this side done. Now we're starting to run out of
Oxygen reserves are
oxygen.
critical.
I think what I'm
Affordable
just gonna
oxygen
do
supplies are
for
available for
today
purchase in the
is
master
end the shift, and hopefully I can make it back in time. I might have just screwed up again. Ooh, we might just have to pay for it. 6, 5, yeah, we're just going to quickly buy the oxygen. Okay.
Oxygen levels stabilizing.
Alright, and we just barely made it. But we did make it. We're not gonna die, we're not gonna lose a clone. That's kind of the important part. Didn't really go with what I wanted to do for the day, but that's kind of what I had to do. Let's see if we can grab this really quick, just for some last second cash,
Salvage
and
secured. Credits deposited.
we can use some of our tethers to start breaking things apart. There we go. And end of the day. And we've actually ended up making about $989,000. We have fees that are roughly $500,000. So really we only made a little over $400,000 today, which is a little unfortunate, but we're definitely heading in the right direction towards being debt-free. We got the Class 1 reactor, we need 3 more work order objectives, we need a power cell, and we need 15 pieces of furniture until we are on to the next one. Now, the ship is worth about $3 million. We only got about $1 million. We're going to go ahead and upgrade our equipment a little bit. This is going to upgrade the range. That is very useful to have. The handheld grappler, we're gonna do the strength upgrade so that we can move things a little bit quicker, and I would like to do the thruster, but I don't have enough LT for that. So, that said, we should be able to finish this ship today, completely salvage the rest of it, and we'll get a lot of money for that.
Valuable object processed. Credits awarded.
So it seems like some of the tethers are actually staying after the day's over. So that's something useful to know. And yeah, we tore up the ship pretty good here. Lots of pieces are just completely apart, which is exactly what you want, because that way it's much easier. You can just tether large chunks of the ship away. Like,
No tethers remaining.
oh, I guess I am going to have to buy tethers.
Processing valuable
Okay.
object. Credits awarded.
Our only thing left to do for the work order is to salvage some more metal, but it's only like 30 kilograms worth, which is basically nothing, so we'll be able to do that nice and easy. We're going
Tethers
to
restored.
grab some tethers. Alright, we're going to take this piece and haul it just into the processor. And lucky that we did not end up breaking this coolant tank. Then we have this chunk of this ship
Salvage secured.
that
Account
I
credit
believe we can
applied.
also just chuck this into our processor. And we have this bottom piece here. We can throw this. See, this is the nice part, is we get everything taken apart. It all falls apart a little bit. Now we can just use our tethers and send them flying into the processor and where they just need to
Work
go.
order complete.
Work order is completed.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Now, I don't think that I ended up cutting off the other side of this, so we're gonna have to go down and basically cut everything apart. This is the airlock. Not sure what this is. Does not look like we can do anything with it. Very careful not to overheat our laser cutter, because if we do, not happy things happen. It gets very hot and could definitely burn us. Alright, and I think that should be pretty much this entire side taken apart. Now, one thing that we have is we have the airlock that we need to get, and we need to put that onto the barge. So, let's try and take this piece, throw that into the processor, and that takes apart all of that. So let's grab our nice little airlock here and send it flying towards the barge. Send the rest of this right in the processor.
Salvage deposit accepted. Credits
And now we're pretty much just throwing things into the processor, throwing the leftovers to the barge. Still good on oxygen. And look at how nicely this ship just comes apart. Wasted a tether there, unfortunately.
Looks like you used your last tether. Head on over to the kiosk if you need more.
Let's wait until we are running out of oxygen, which I'm going to leave much, much sooner this time, so that I don't run out again. But other than that, we're pretty much just able to start taking off chunks of the ship, throwing them where they need to go. Down to the barge or into the processor. And these kind of core metal chunks that we have, that were in the middle, this and this frame here, those are going to go into the furnace. Now, the kind of difficult thing about this
Your
is
oxygen reserves are dropping below statistically
this needs to
profitable
go
levels.
into the processor, and this, oh, this can also, well, the interior box of this needs to go into the furnace. running out of oxygen, so we'll run and grab tethers and oxygen. So yeah, I believe pretty much this entire frame here can go into
Deposit accepted.
the furnace. So once we get all of these pieces taken off of it, we're gonna do just that, send it flying into the furnace. And you can salvage all of the little lights, but I don't find that they are particularly worth it. They're not worth the time in order to grab them all. Because if you sit down and you grab all of the tiny little lights, it takes a lot of time. And in this game, time is money. You have to get on to your next ship, because every shift, you lose $500,000 no matter what you do. So it's just really not worth it to sit down and grab each individual light and worry about what's going on with those. It's just, for me, it's much better to just kind of ignore those lights and then get what's actually worthwhile and get on to the next ship. Now these computer terminals are much more worth it, I believe.
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
So now we're almost done with this ship. Basically, we need to cut this away from the frame. So we're going to go ahead and cut all of these individual pieces. And we're also going to take out the glass as best as we can. Let's try and save kind of as much of it as we can, but it's not worth taking all of your time over. That's kind of the general gist of this game, is time management of what's worth grabbing, what's not worth grabbing. And it seems like something is still attached here, though I'm not quite sure what exactly that would be. It might be, no, not the tethers. Let's just cut this in half, and I think it's down here somewhere. So something there is attached. I'm really not sure what, but we got most of the glass out. So let's send that into the furnace, and this into the furnace.
Credits deposited.
In my experience, it's just been generally not worth it to sit down and if you just have the cockpit left, it's not worth it to do another shift to sit down and get all of these panels off, because you can just send it into the processor or the furnace and get whatever money you get, and then again just move on to the next ship, which is that's kind of the key to this game, is getting to the next ship as quickly as possible, because the next ship has much more expensive stuff. Alright, so we're getting this cockpit taken out pretty well. We do have most of these panels off, and we've got 4 minutes left. I am going to go ahead and try and take apart the floor.
Oxygen reserves are low. Reminder, asphyxiation can lead to missed salvage quotas.
Oxygen is critical again. I really want to get these metal panels out first.
Fuel supplies are available for purchase at the master jack.
There we go. So I think we're just gonna go get, we're gonna go get oxygen. We're gonna send this into the processor, And after that, we can just come back for those metal plates, send them into the furnace, and then that's going to be our first ship done. Cutting the oxygen nice and close. We've still got plenty of time, so not that big of a deal. And we're going to go ahead and go back, grab all of our stuff.
Credits awarded.
Oh, that one kind of missed. Sent that flying the wrong way. There we go, that one went in. And, let's see, some of this debris might actually be worth it to just throw in, mostly since we have the time. And, I really need to get this. Let's bring it over to this one. It's gonna be a better angle.
Tether supplies are low.
And we can make it go a little bit faster by using 2. Trying to grab that light. There we go. Got the light and sent it flying in.
Salvage deposit
Okay,
accepted.
and
Credits transferred.
I do believe that is the entire first ship that we have done. So we're going to head back to the hab and see what we got. Here's a night. Oh, well, there was keys, and then I sent them flying towards Earth. That might be kind of bad. Okay, and time to end the shift. And this time we managed to make about $1.5 million off of all of the salvage that we got. So that is great. That means that we made about $1 million in profit. Plus we completed a bunch of the work orders. So things are starting to look pretty good. We still have $998,487,000 left to pay off, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. So with that being said, we're going to end this episode here. Let me know if you like this video. As always, have a great day, and I will see you in the next one.